Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Cult Movie Tuesdays right here on Night Owl Video. Thank you for coming by and joining me for a review of this cool film, Beyond the Black Rainbow. Yes, I just picked this up recently in a thrifting haul and I paid $2 for it, which was a great price because this movie is really, really cool. So we're going to talk about this movie today. Before I get into that, if you like my videos, give me the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. And you can find me over on Instagram at Night Owl Video. I usually post updates of when I'm posting new videos and things like that. So, and again, thank you to all my new followers. Welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoyed this content. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate your following my videos and that. So cool. I hope everybody had a great holiday. I'm making this video before the holidays, so I don't actually know how my holiday went. I'm hoping it went pretty good, but I hope yours was good, and maybe I'll mention it in an upcoming video how my holidays were. But yeah, so happy holidays, happy New Year, which is coming up. Let me know what you're doing for the New Year's, or you don't have to if you don't want to. I don't do anything for New Year's. I'm actually gonna be traveling on New Year's Eve day, and then I don't know, probably not doing anything for New Year's Eve. Probably just watch a movie and get some takeout or something. But so anyway, all that aside, we're talking about this movie today, and this movie is super cool. This is a super cool movie. This is a science fiction horror movie from 2010, 12 years ago, yeah. Directed by Panos Cosmatos, who also did Mandy, that's right. One of my new, but also one of my all-time favorite movies of all time ever. And I know that might sound strange because it only came out like, what, 5-6 years ago, but I love that movie, and this was the kind of precursor to it. I'm trying to remember. I did see this before Mandy. I did like this movie the first time I watched it, but I'll get into my thoughts about that in a minute. So this movie stars Michael Rogers, who was also in Hellraiser Hellseeker, that chestnut, and he's also been in Supergirl and the Bates Motel TV series. It also stars Eva Allen and Scott Hylands, who was in the Fargo TV show. It's a small cast. There's not a lot of people in this. It's mostly Michael Rogers and Eva Allen. I couldn't really, I looked at Eva Allen's filmography and I didn't really recognize any of the movies, I don't think, so I didn't mention them. That's why. But she was great in this film. So the synopsis is short and sweet for this one. A heavily sedated woman, Eva Allen, with ESP, tries to escape from the secluded commune where she's been held captive. And that is a place called Arborea, like laboratories or something? Arborea Institute, sorry. And yeah, she's being held captive there or something. She's being drugged, and there's this weird dude here. This is not, I'm gonna say before I start, this is a movie that is not for everyone. This is definitely for your fans of like the out there. This is a new cult movie, which is why I'm doing it here on Cult Movie Tuesdays. But this is pure cult, okay? Like, this is just super underground, super weird, super slow pace, wild aesthetics, color palette. It's, if you know Cosmatos from Mandy or from his episode, The Viewing, which was on Cabinet of Curiosities on Netflix, his aesthetic is very particular. And his color palette is very particular, and it's very late 70s, early 80s kind of feel to it, which I love, which is maybe why I like this movie. I mean, I love this movie aesthetically as well, but definitely not for everyone. So, yeah, and so the one cool thing I did when I was researching to do this review is that Panos Cosmatos, I always want to say Cosmatos, but Cosmatos, when he was a little kid, he used to go to the video store with his parents, and he wasn't allowed to rent the horror movies, the weird movies, but he would oftentimes spend a long time looking at the cover art, the boxes for the videos, the VHS, and he would, in his mind, because I'm sure this guy's a genius, in his mind he was imagining what these movies would be like, what they would be about, and so he was very imaginative. And so when he was thinking about making this film, his kind of thought process, as far as I understand, was that he was imagining a movie that, I got a quote here, uh, create a film that is a sort of imagining of an old film that doesn't exist. So I kind of think, if you think of it that way, like if you think about some of those movies that maybe he was looking at, this would have fit in, and it's kind of got that vibe. It's got that, and it is his first film, so it does have a bit of that innocence to it too, which I'm just thinking about that now. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of where the impetus for this film came from, was him looking at these movies and imagining what they would be like. Um, Beyond the Black Rainbow was financed by DVD residuals from Tombstone, the film Tombstone from 1993, directed by Panos' father, George P. Cosmatos. The film was shot in 3 weeks using a modified Panavision 35mm camera. This was suggested by cinematographer Norm Lee, for he noted that Panos' references, mostly films from the 70s and 80s, quote, were all grainy, colorful, and full of texture. And he felt, unquote, and he felt the 35mm format was the, quote, only way to shoot, unquote. So it definitely has that aesthetic, that grainy, like I said, late 70s, early 80s kind of vibe to it. The heavy synthesizer soundtrack is very 80s sounding, and I do have a note on that in a second. The movies that Cosmatos mentions as varying degrees of inspiration include Manhunter, the Michael Mann movie, which is the sort of the precursor to Silence of the Lambs, that or Hannibal Lecter's stuff, which is also a really cool movie. Now, I saw that back in the day and I liked it. I saw it within the last year on VHS, but the transfer was so bad that I really couldn't enjoy it. But I have since got that on DVD, so I'm kind of excited to revisit that one. Other movies that he mentions as inspiration are The Keep, which oddly enough is a VHS that I found not that long ago. Dark Star, the John Carpenter's first movie, and THX 1138, George Lucas's first film. And of course, he listed many more, of course, as he was listening. I know he's a big fan of Road Warrior, not so much in this, but maybe in Mandy, you could definitely see that influence. The soundtrack was done by Jeremy Schmidt of the band Black Mountain. He used all vintage analog synthesizers to achieve the sound he wanted for the film. Hence, like I said a minute ago, that real early 80s synth sound, which is so cool, and maybe getting a little overdone with films nowadays, but so that was part of it. The budget was $1 million and the box office was $56,000. Yikes. So it didn't do very well at the box office. I think it kind of reclaimed its glory on home video, on DVD, but it didn't do well at the box office, which is unfortunate because I think it's a really, really cool movie. And reception for this film, the film had mixed reviews from the critics. It currently holds a 61% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's up from its original Rotten Tomatoes score when it came out, which I think was in the 40s. And I think Cosmatos even said like the test screenings for this were not good. The initial reaction was like, what is this? It's too weird. Critics just didn't get it. So the film garnered a more positive reappraisal in the years following its release. And after the release of Mandy, the film garnered more appreciation, I think, from critics and fans. And like I said, this is the... If this had been made in the 80s, this was another one that would also have been in the cult movie section. No question about it. It's super cult. It's cult spelled with a K and a V. That's how cult it is. But yeah, this movie's super cool. My thoughts on this film, I would definitely give this a 4.5 out of 5. I thought I do like slow motion, slow paced things. It's a bit of a fetish for me. So this one was really, really, just really beautiful for me. Like pacing wise. The music, again, that early 80s synth, real spooky sounding. The overall mood, like just the lighting and the choice of color palette. I just felt it was made like, all right, I was just like, yeah, this is a movie for me. Like, this is my jam. And when I saw Mandy, I was just like, I didn't know it was the same director, but I was like, whoa, Mandy. And then now I'm just like a confirmed Cosmatos fanatic, if you will. And then when he did the episode on Cabinet of Curiosities, I thought that was also very brilliant. So I am so looking forward to what this guy's going to do in the future. I think he's one of the best up and coming directors that we have in the film industry. And I think I've seen him in interviews. He just seems like a really quiet, methodical, thoughtful, cool kind of guy. Like, so I would love to interview him someday or chat with him about movies. I'm sure his knowledge is way beyond mine, but I love his movies. So, and I do love a lot of the movies he references as inspiration as well. So, yeah, Beyond the Black Rainbow. My only kind of nitpick was the ending. I won't give it away, obviously, because you might want to see this movie, but I thought the ending was a little disappointing. I'm not sure if I knew where the film was going. The main actress in the film was trying to get away from the Institute, and so the ending is very different from the body of the movie, from the rest of the film, and it's a very quick wrap up. And sometimes I'm not a big fan of that. Sometimes I like the wrap up to take some time. And this one is just like, it's going along, and then all of a sudden it's over. And I wasn't crazy about it, but the like 90% of the movie before the end, like brilliant to me. Brilliant. So I will say when I did originally watch this back in like 2014 or 2015, I really didn't like the ending. Really bothered me to the point where I kind of said, like, I don't really like this movie. I don't really get it. The ending bugged me. On a second watch, now I'm a confirmed Cosmatos fan, and I can kind of look at this through different eyes, different lens, and appreciate it more. The ending didn't bother me as much this time, to be honest, but that would be my only minor nitpick on this film. This edition is bare bones. There's no special features on it. Let's see here. There's the inside of it. If you can see that, I don't know, the glare is pretty intense. That's an advertisement for a couple of other movies called Hell and Citadel. But there's a scene from the movie on the other side. The disc. Yeah, the disc is the same as the cover art. And I do believe there are no special features on this. It was re-released on Blu-ray in 2012 by Magnolia Pictures, but I don't think there's any special editions of this. I would guess somebody's going to pick this up, like Arrow or Vinegar Syndrome or somebody, and probably release like a really nice deluxe edition of it. I hope anyway. But for now, you can get it on DVD or Blu-ray. And like I said, I've been thrifting for movies for about 2 years, and this is the first time I saw this about a month ago. And I was fortunate enough to find it for $2, which is a steal, but it's definitely not one I see out in the wild anymore. There's some scenes from the film there. It's a really creepy movie, and the Arborea Institute is really creepy. I'll read the back of it actually, just to kind of give this synopsis a bit more depth. But it says, deep within the mysterious Arborea Institute, a beautiful girl is held captive by a twisted scientist, her mind controlled by a sinister technology. To escape, she must journey through the darkest reaches of the Institute and avoid the watchful eye of Dr. Nile, who won't easily part with his most gifted and dangerous creation. And ComingSoon.net said, combines the visuals of Kubrick with the sensibilities of John Carpenter to create something truly unforgettable. And BloodyDisgusting.com said, an incredibly unique masterpiece, a brilliantly made film. So there you go. You can, I don't see where you can watch this on any streaming services, and I'm not telling you to go on YouTube and watch it for free, but if you were so inclined, it is there to watch. Not sure of the quality of the copy on YouTube, but if you really wanted to see it, and I'm a bit jealous because, I didn't know it was on there, so I could have been watching it all this time, but kind of glad I waited, though, to find a copy out in the wild. And this was, when I saw this in the bin, I was like kind of dying. And there was another person thrifting for movies right beside me, and they didn't see it, and they heard me kind of gasp, and then they kind of looked over, but I don't think they knew what it was. So I was kind of pretty excited when I found this. So if you, like I said, if you're so inclined, you can watch it on YouTube, or you can buy it off of like Blu-ray.com or something like that. I think it's pretty cheap now. And yeah, like I said, hopefully they'll come out with like a deluxe edition of this down the road, because I feel like it's one of those movies that could definitely deserve like a deluxe treatment, like a 2-disc set or something, or even a 3-disc set with the soundtrack or something would be super cool. But yeah, I would definitely check this out. This is also, I forgot to mention at the beginning, a Canadian production, so that's also kind of a cool tidbit for all of you Canadians out there. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my review of Beyond the Black Rainbow, Panos Cosmatos 2010 underrated cult epic. And if you like this video, give me the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. And I will be back again soon with another video. I am on holidays, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to make a video this week, but I will see what I can do. But until next time, I will see you at the video store, or at the thrift store, or, just out and about, or maybe I'll see you at the Arborea Institute. That would be spooky. Anyway, until then, take good care of yourselves and your family and your friends and your loved ones, and brace for New Year's Eve 2023 will be, well, you can't even say anymore that it'll be a good year, because it's just like the last 3 years are just like, I don't know. Or the last 2 years, I guess, but hopefully it'll be a good year, 2023. So anyway, take care of yourselves. Until next time, I will see you right here on Night Owl Video. Take care of yourselves. Bye.